Video is going to go over Project 4, our main research project for the semester. You might want to take out a paper and pencil right now so that you can take some notes, and don't hesitate to pause the video if you need to review anything. This is a multi-part project, and it is a team project, so it has a few more moving parts than we've done so far, but it will follow the same basic pattern that we've done, where you have process-oriented deliverables that will help you compose and write the final project. So this major project will allow you to sharpen your proposal and report writing skills. Students will work with a partner or a team to address an RFP and then prepare a formal business report to meet the needs of a company. So you can see there's a few more deliverables than we've had in the past. You will do a team work plan, and then you will do an informal proposal. You'll create a preliminary outline with a research plan for your report. You'll do a preliminary source synthesis memo. You'll create a progress report, an individual case study summary, and then the final report. And many of these deliverables, such as the proposal, the source synthesis, and the case study, will actually be early drafts of parts of your report. So proposals allow vendors or companies to bid for contracts or promote their services and products. Formal reports allow businesses to circulate complex information both internally and externally. Understanding how to compose effective proposals helps business professionals advance their careers. The ability to work collaboratively in a team to create larger scale projects like reports is an essential workplace skill, and this project is going to let you sharpen all of them. So here is our scenario that we're working with. You and your partner, or if you're working in a team of 3, you and your team are employees of a consulting firm that specializes in diversity and inclusion initiatives. Recently, John Ronan, the owner of a locally owned mid-sized PR firm, has started to wonder whether they should invest in a formal D&I initiative. They've seen a lot in the news and they've heard talk among other business owners and CEOs, but they wonder whether investing in such an initiative would benefit their business enough to make such a commitment and expense worth it. Mr. Ronan has posted a request for proposal, otherwise known as an RFP, to explore the possibilities and gain more insight. Your company has decided to apply for the contract, and your boss, Ms. Johnson, has appointed you and your fellow coworker to the job. So the first thing that you and your team will need to do is look at the RFP. An RFP is a request for proposals. These are rather common documents that government agencies, companies, and other organizations will create in order to solicit bids. So these are kind of job applications, and then consultants or vendors or companies will prepare proposals in order to apply for that job. So it's really important that you pay attention to the RFP because it's going to tell you how to do the project. So here is the RFP. It gives background information, first of all, on Ronan Communications and Media. Now, this is a fictional company. It does not exist, but it is a mid-level, locally owned media company that's looking to try to figure out if they should increase their diversity through a formal diversity and inclusion initiative. And it says they're looking to engage a consultant or team of consultants to support us in establishing a D&I initiative to guide their work for the next 6 to 12 months. The next thing that the RFP includes is something called scope of work. Scope of work is basically an outline of what the company is expecting the vendor to deliver. So what they want is a formal recommendation report that establishes the steps necessary to create a public-facing initiative for the company. The report should include evidence of industry standards for D&I and be prepared to be distributed to internal stakeholders. So the main thing that you will be producing for this particular project is a formal recommendation report. Now, the scope of the work also tells you what should be included in that report. They're asking for 4 things, and they're referenced here in these 4 open circle bullets. So they want a comprehensive review of the current literature and trends. They want to see case studies of other companies. They want an analysis of the components of the leading diversity initiatives and an overview of their effects and possible shortfalls. They want you to talk about what makes an initiative successful or what might make it fail, and they want to know how businesses can benefit from such an initiative. And then finally, they want their consultant to propose steps for creating and implementing the initiative at their specific company over the next year. They're also going to expect a progress report. But the biggest part of the RFP is the scope of work. This is going to inform how you design your research. It's going to inform how you design your proposal. It's going to inform how you design your formal report. So you really have to pay attention to what they want, because if you don't address the client's needs, you get fired or you don't get hired. So as with all RFPs, the company is calling for proposals. It says if you and your firm is interested in providing services, you're going to submit a proposal addressed to Mr. John Ronan, and it provides an email including the line proposal for D&I consultant. Your proposal should give a sense of your expertise and the plan you have for gathering research and data. It should include a timeline and schedule for project completion and delivery, but there is no need to include a budget proposal. You're basically going to be following the informal proposal guidelines in our textbook. It tells you, this RFP tells you, that a proposal must include an overview of the applicants and their experience, anticipated work plan, including the approach, methodology, and strategies, how you are going to collect, analyze, and verify the research and information, and a schedule of expected tasks. And then the proposal dates are all posted online. So this is the scenario that your team will be proposing and researching. So let's go back to our project instructions and take a look at our deliverables. So the first deliverable, just like our last project, is a teamwork plan. You're going to use the same format and the same organization to come up with a teamwork plan. Even if you are working with the same students, you need to come up with an original work plan to make sure everyone's schedule still works in the same way and that you don't want to make any adjustments. Once you have your teamwork plan, the next deliverable is the proposal. Now you're going to have to do a little bit of research before you write the proposal, because traditionally proposals are written by people who know something about the industry they are applying in. So you need to do some background reading and research, and some of that is supplied in Canvas and our textbook so that you can make sure you know what you're proposing. You're going to revise an email letter for your proposal. You should read the diversity and inclusion initiatives reading before completing this. You want to make sure you address all parts of the RFP and follow the textbook organization for how to write proposals. And again, there will be pages and modules as part of this assignment to help you with all of this. Be sure that you do not include a budget section. Once you submit your proposal, you're going to imagine that your proposal has been accepted, and then you are going to go ahead and work on the project. So the first thing that you're going to do is a preliminary outline with a research plan. You're going to use the RFP to come up with an outline for your formal report, and then you are going to propose the type of research, analysis, and data that you need in order to fulfill that outline. You'll do a short preliminary source synthesis list. This is where you will take the sources from your research. You'll identify the themes and topics that are common among those, and you'll write a brief memo kind of summarizing the research you've done so far. Now, this preliminary source synthesis list should be able to be revised and included in your final report. You'll also do individual case study summaries. So for this particular report, every individual team member is responsible for doing one case study. So you'll locate one real company who has a public-facing D&I initiative. These tend to be on their websites. You'll summarize the company's initiative. You'll state 3 important takeaways from the example, and then you'll compose a memo addressed to your other partners and team members to summarize the research. Again, this case study memo should be able to be included with some revision in your final project. Later in the project, you'll be doing a progress report. You'll use the progress report format as seen in the textbook and sample documents, and you'll send this progress report to your client, Mr. Ronan, to let him know how you're doing on the project. And then finally, you will prepare a large-scale formal research report. With your group or partner, you're going to plan, draft, and revise a formal recommendation report that cites at least 5 library-based sources. So you can include other sources, but 5 sources must come from the PGCC library databases. You'll follow the guidelines in your textbook and in the Canvas website for formal reports, including all required front and back matter. Make sure that you use effective formatting and business style for clarity and concision. Remember, we're not writing an essay anymore. We're writing a business report. And make sure that you cite all sources correctly and appropriately in APA format. Now, the minimum requirements for the formal report will be 6 pages of writing in the report body. This does not include any front matter or back matter. You'll have at least 5 library sources. Additional sources have to be appropriate to a professional business audience, and you will need to include at least 2 effective visual aids like charts, graphs, or illustrations. There's a lot of information here about how to plan and organize the report, and then in Canvas as well, there'll be modules that help you build each part of this report as you go. So this is a large-scale project. This will take 3 to 4 weeks in a normal 15-week class. It is our major project of the semester, and it's the equivalent of the research essay you did in English 1010. If at any point you have issues with your team, you have questions about the project, or you need help, make sure that you reach out to the professor for help.